Fucker.
Hold on, I hope y'all watching this shit.
First round, real quick.
People that are in those training rooms with him know how good.
Because he just knocked dudes out real quick. First round.
Yeah, but now we're gonna get a good. I fuck with this guy. He doesn't. To me,
They're
I thought he was a con artist, just based off his look.
They're at edge.
Holy shit! What the hell just happened?
What's up, motherfuckers? Welcome to G.W.R. Gonzo Wrestling Room. Getting set for our second episode of this weekly podcast. Got Steve's in the house today for this episode, and got my dad Tony's back for the second episode. I thought we had a good first episode.
It was
I don't
good.
know if have you got a chance to listen to any of it?
Not too much, man, but hey, I already know it was a banger. Baby.
Figure first we'll talk a little
Let's
independent wrestling like we did last time, and then we'll get into the saw some good wrestling last weekend at Summit Pro in Greenfield, Indiana. I highly recommend to go check out one of their shows. They have another show February 6th. $10 to get in, right?
$10 all seats.
Yeah, just general admission, $10. First come, first serve, and they had a stacked card last Sunday.
Yeah, every match was really good. Most of the matches on the show could have been main events at other places. Probably out of the 8 matches, I think 7 of them could have probably been main events at other cards. I mean, that's how good of a show it was. It was really strong.
Where was that at?
It was in Shelbyville.
Or no, Greenfield.
No, excuse me, yeah.
Greenfield.
We're going to Shelbyville this weekend. Yeah, Greenfield. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're going.
Greenfield, Indiana, baby.
Yeah, speaking of Shelbyville, we'll be live there. Well, by the time this comes out, it'll already be over, but we'll give you a recap of it next week.
Yeah. Who was the main event at Greenfield?
Tyler Matrix
Ooh,
Matrix.
against
Why didn't he just be neat? He should just name himself
Ace Perry.
Neil.
Ace Perry.
Ace Perry and Tyler
I'd
Matrix.
heard a lot about Perry, and he lived up to the hype.
That was a killer match, and then Sean Kemp and Brett Havoc
Yeah.
put on a hell of a show.
Brett Havoc.
Havoc
Yeah,
can't have a bad match.
Havoc can't have a bad match. That dude was willing to risk it all for the quality of
Dude,
the
I'm
match.
telling you,
man.
when we get done, we'll watch that Sean Kemp. We'll watch both those matches because
Let's do
man,
Well, the thing about Havoc is we've seen him 3 times in the last couple months, and different opponents. Wrestled, like JKO, a different style match. Fantastic in that. We've seen him in that 3-way at Theology.
with
At
Bostic
and
Ace Austin.
Ace Austin. Seen him in that match. Fantastic. And then I've seen him here. He's as good as anybody in the state of Indiana.
I agree.
With psychology and just in-ring ability, his character, he knows how to work a crowd. He's really good. The other guy we've seen for the first time, and we was excited to see, and I was impressed. Eric Dillinger, we seen him. He was in the opening match. He was really good. So
Him and Jake Carter.
yeah, Jake Carter. There's 2 guys. Well, Jake Carter main event at Theology.
I'll tell you what, Jake Carter was more impressive this time that we saw him than
at Theology.
at
Yeah.
Theology.
Oh yeah.
So we seen him at...
Don't be good.
He was in the main event.
He was the
at
main
Theology.
event at WTF.
Yeah.
Oh, was he the one had the mom that was pissed
Yeah,
off?
yeah.
Okay.
He looked really strong.
Yeah,
he didn't look too bad at
No,
WTF.
he
looked
didn't
bad.
look bad there, but I'm telling
Yeah.
you, he put that match with Dillinger. You could really see more of his talent in that.
We got to see 4 tag teams that we hadn't seen before, and they were all pretty good.
You'd like the one tag team, the 8-bit that came out had the old duck hunt gun for the Nintendo.
Oh my god! So they're doing like the 8-bit, like the old video game
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah. they had pretty good characters. There was in that Don't Die Miles. Been a lot of hype about him, and I thought he was real good. It was a really good show. I mean, for $10, that place should be packed. And it's a new show, and it's not. I wish the fans would. They deserve, and it's ran by T.J. Kemp and his son Sean, right?
Yep.
Sean Kemp, and they deserve.
Sean Kemp. That's his name.
Yeah.
Did he wrestle like our wrestling?
Yeah. No. I don't. Well,
He did a little
he
bit.
did through about middle school.
Yeah.
Because I'm
He
pretty
went
sure
to Mount-
Brandon
went-
wrestled with
he-
Sean
he
Kipp
went-
at State.
Well, he's
Well,
younger.
this guy,
He's younger.
he didn't
Okay.
wrestle in high
He,
school.
he went to Mount Vernon.
I know a Sean Kipp for sure.
Yeah, he went to Mount Vernon, but he's only about 24.
Man, this just a dude sounds so familiar. I probably don't know him, but I know a Sean Kipp that
Dude,
used to wrestle.
he started wrestling professionally when he was 12 years old.
He's been wrestling
he
for
got
12
the
years,
experience,
and
huh?
he's 24. He was tag team champion with his dad somewhere when he's 14.
Holy shit.
And dude, and he can go. That was the
good.
first time I seen him live, and he was good. He impressed me. Havoc impressed me. Matrix.
And shout out to the
And
Camps.
that's no shot. That's no not taking a shot at anybody else in the card.
card,
'cause
no, the card was
the
really
card
good.
was a real good card.
Yeah, but shout out to the Camps, man. Just super nice people. The dad and the son. I mean, their hospitality towards us and the way they treated us.
Oh, yeah.
Going there was just fantastic, and all the wrestlers was nice, and we got to see some of the background stuff. You know, normal fans don't get to see them kind of putting the show together. I thought was really cool. So they deserve to have 200 or 300 people there. You know, and
I'm
I
hoping
hope the
that
people will
I'm
start
hoping
going.
that maybe they'll get a bigger crowd on the 6th, this next show.
next
and then
show. They're
I'm
both-
looking forward to going back down there February 6th.
Sunday, February 6th. Doors open at 3. Show at 4.
Right now it's got to be a hard time to run a show the way this COVID variant's going around. I mean, everybody's getting that.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting that damn thing.
Yeah, that's probably not helping any.
No. So that's probably has something to do with it. Because, I mean, it's fucking... If you go out right now, it's around, man. I'm sick of it. Sick of it, man. But, hey, it seemed like a pretty good show, man. I wish I could have made it. I'm pretty sure I had COVID.
Then
I don't know.
Then we finally got to see Dalton Love and Luke Savage wrestle live.
We went to IPW on Saturday night, and a real good main event. TJ Kemp was a part of that main event. I think the other guy named is it Ford?
T.J. Baker.
TJ Baker's okay. TJ Baker, he was really good, and of course Dalton and Luke, I thought just set the place on fire. They were really good. I'd seen them on tape, and I thought they were good. They were better than I mean, they were even better. Seeing them live.
Best match of the night by far.
Yeah. They had a pretty good crowd. A good crowd there, probably 100 people or so. So they had a decent crowd.
Dalton and Luke, they should have that chemistry, you know? They grew up together and
Oh,
shit.
they were a tag team, and like Dalton wouldn't get in the ring. He was letting Luke get the hell beat out of him. He wouldn't get up there tagging.
Dalton's a heel. Dalton's a heel, and Luke's the good guy. So,
Oh,
so
that's good stuff, though.
yeah, it was good. It was really good.
That's good stuff.
All right. Something I wanted to talk about. I thought of last night while I was watching the Royal Rumble from '91. Some of the guys that were great or good in the ring that don't hardly get talked about anymore. Like I think don't get the respect they deserve. Mr. Perfect.
Oh yeah.
He don't get the respect he deserves for what he could do in the ring. And another one's the $1 Million Man.
Well,
I watched the $1 Million Man last night, and man, that dude could go,
well, he could go.
and he could talk.
Well, honestly, though, you got to see him in WWE. He could go, but you would have seen him when he was a little younger, when he was in the NWA, and Mid South and those areas. He could really go then. I mean, he was even better. And perfect, same way. He was a little bit older in the WWE, getting a little bit older. He was a total package. I mean, he could talk.
He had the charisma.
He probably should be a top 10 of all
I
time.
was gonna say, but you never
Mr.
you ever hardly hear his name or $1 Million Man's name.
$1 Million Man, I know about.
I got to see Coco Beware out the first time I'd seen that in a while.
Yeah,
Something up there at the Parrot.
He was a pretty good wrestler down Mid South and those areas. Got WWE. It was all about character. Well, Vince, I mean, that's how you push it. Some people can make it with a character. It's not about all in the ring. If you've got a good character, a guy that Stevie's probably not going to know, but you would know him. It was really good in the ring. Didn't do when he went to WWE. He didn't do anything. But Ron Garvin, the man with the hands of stone, he was outstanding. And even Randy Orton does some of this. He did too much anymore. But the thing where it was called the Garvin Stomp. He'd go around and stomp. Dude would be down flat on his back, and he'd just stomp him all over his body. And Orton used to do that. He don't do it too much anymore. But yeah, he
Orton, man, I didn't really watch too much like that era of Randy Orton and stuff. But now that I've seen a lot of Randy Orton, man, he's good, man. He's good, dude. Like that dude can. That dude can really
you know who J.R.
carry
is?
a match.
Jim Ross. You know who he is. He works for AEW now. But he came out 6 months ago or so and said he thinks the best wrestler in the world right now is Randy Orton. And of course, AEW fans got pissed off because he didn't pick somebody from AEW. He said, I'm right to have my own opinion. He said, and it's just an opinion. They didn't say it's 100% fact. It's just my view. I think he's a talent scout for years. He was in NWA and then WWE. A lot of people got signed by WWE. He was the ones that found them. Edge, Christian, many more.
Legends.
He's the one that found these guys. Brock Lesnar, he had something to do with that. Kurt Angle. He had a lot to do with getting these people, and
He's a talent guy.
he was a real good talent guy.
Some people just have the ear for that shit, man. Like you just know when somebody has it. And
I think this card tomorrow in Shelbyville is going to be real good.
Yeah, I think so too.
Got Eric Dillinger against Aaron Anarchy.
Yep.
That should be a good one. I forget who Sean Kemp's wrestling now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
He's wrestling one of the is it Sage Phillips?
Yeah, it is Phillips. It is
Well,
Sage
say-
Phillips.
It was one of the guys we've seen.
And then I know Hillbilly Jed's got an open challenge.
Yep.
What you seen? Have you seen Hillbilly Jed yet? I don't think
no,
he
I
has.
don't think
No, because he
so.
didn't go to.
I think you'll like him.
He didn't go to
I think you'll like him.
WCWO with us.
He's a big dude, probably 400 pounds, and they can move.
Really?
Oh, he does.
He's been
flip-
around for a long time.
He does flips and shit.
He's a big dude.
Damn, he should be playing football or something.
Yeah, it should be a good card.
What did you think about this match, Dad? Have you? I'm sure you've watched this, haven't you?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I know a lot of people was bitching about Styles being on NXT.
Why is he on NXT?
What they're doing is they brought him in. Somebody else was going to be on the show. Was on the show. They're bringing these guys in to work with these younger guys and help because NXT they're trying to get characters and wrestlers that are ready when they come up to WWE to go. I mean, ready to go. And so they say he said he's on his last contract. Styles, I'm never going to wrestle for any other company. I'm going to end my career here. I just read a thing where he's probably going to end up a coach in NXT, and I think he wants to put people say, oh, he's getting buried, he's losing to this guy, losing that guy. He said, guys, I've been world champion all over the world. He said it's my time to give back to the industry and make people better. It's like Randy Orton. Randy Orton's working with Riddle to get Riddle to the next level. That's why Randy Orton's working with Riddle right now. Plus they're getting paid. They're getting paid big money.
When you get older, that's what you do. You gotta make the next guy. So
That's how it's always been. That's like Triple H. That's what they did for Randy Orton and Batista.
Yeah.
You know, picked him up and put him around Ric Flair and Triple H. Put him around the legends.
Like Bully Ray said, it has wins and losses has nothing to do with it. It's whether you have a character to get yourself over. Mm-hmm. He said that's how you gonna make your money. You ain't making your money because you wins and losses. Fans get carried away with that stuff, buried because the guy loses or.
Yeah, and you see guys that that do get buried because they don't have that character. Like Cesaro.
I'm not saying
Cesaro got buried, but if he would be better on the mic, he'd be a superstar.
He'd be a world champion. And with no,
and that's what holds him back. He just don't have the
charisma. I mean, when he gets on mic, he looks like a deer in the headlights.
There ain't many people that can outwork him in the ring, but he just.
I'd put him up against anybody. I think Daniel Bryan's best in the world, and I couldn't say Daniel Bryan's a lot better than him.
All these people, everybody that loves AEW. I watch AEW some, but. You can't tell me that the quality of wrestling in AEW is better than these matches right here on NXT. In ring wrestling, it's not even in ring wrestling. It's
they learned like Bully Ray said the other day on Busted Open. He said WWE they learned the right way to do things. He said psychology, working towards the camera, knowing where you're supposed to be, where you're not supposed to be, how you're supposed to act in the ring, out of the ring. They go through everything. you're ready to go. You know, there. He says, so, you know, psychology. You learn it's not all about the moves, because some of the moves that they do is AEW probably more exciting. It's more AEW is a independent show in a way that we go to. They're doing the flips and doing everything to do to get the crowd going, but they've got a high budget and they got the cameras and high production. Is what it put high production on an independent show to a certain degree. I'm not saying everybody, because you got Jericho's and you got Daniel Bryan and stuff, but that's basically what that is. And that's the only problem is they're getting 1 million people and they can't get much. They can't get any higher because you gotta hit the people that don't watch all the time. Like Stevie's starting to watch more, but he's not a huge fan. Most of the people in AEW, he's not even gonna ever heard of. No. He knows people in WWE. Yeah. I mean. You know, like I said, they got household names. I'd say you could go up to 10 people and say Randy Orton. 9 out of 10 is going to probably know who Randy Orton is.
He knows the people that Austin showed him.
Yeah. I mean, the only people I know in AEW is the people that came from WWE.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, but those guys like Daniel Bryan, or, you know, they ain't going to know Bryan Danielson. That's his real name. But Daniel Bryan, they would know that name because the way WWE puts them out and you know, they know the names in WWE. It makes huge difference marketing wise. Just like I said on the last show, I mean, they make money in so many different ways. They signed a deal with WWE, signed a deal with lottery companies, and they're going to do lottery tickets with WWE superstars on it and shit.
Oh shit!
And they'll make all kinds of money off that.
They'll make all kinds of fucking money off that. Off lottery tickets.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Oh yeah.
They're a world global company that is making that last whatever they call that, they split up into 4 separate whatever. But for that last 3 months, they made $400 million profit.
Do you think after Vince McMahon passes away, do you think things will change? Like it'll open up the doors for another company? Because I'm when he passes away, I don't know if I'm gonna have as much. But like I said, I'm not as big fan as you guys are, but I feel like after Vic McMahon passes away,
if the right person
it's gonna put a dent in it for me.
If the right person gets it, and at one time I thought sure it was gonna be Triple H. Now I'm not so sure. But if it was Triple H, I think that their audience would get bigger, just because I think he would change some things that people don't like. But the main thing people want, they want to go back to the Attitude era and do all this crazy shit. Then that's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
Well, you can't do it in this society.
No.
And they're a global traded company that has stockholders, and they're not going to put up with that. I mean,
yeah.
What a time it was, though.
Yeah.
What an era it was, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could do anything.
Oh man,
they did anything.
It was so good.
I watched that ad the other day, or that bit they done where Shawn Michaels and Triple H got on there after USA had gave Vince McMahon that letter about all the words you couldn't say, and they got on there and said every single one of them had the paper, was holding the paper, just reading it off there. I was rolling.
Well, basically,
they didn't just know whatever.
See, Triple H don't get enough credit, and Shawn Michaels had a lot to do with it. But they went to Vince and said, you need to let us go and just go at it and let us be us and let everybody be themselves, and we just need to hammer them. Go, and do everything, anything and everything. Let's do it. And Vince bought in, and then they had that one producer, I can't think of his name right now, that came in and come up with a lot of the crazy ideas. And they said, but the dude would come up with some crazy stuff. And Vince would say, okay to that one, but we're going to tweak it a little bit, but they said 100 ideas he would come up. Vince would only take 3 of them. But the dude was coming up with 100 ideas a week. Then he went to WCW. He left there and got a big contract with WCW. And he was in charge. He didn't have Vince McMahon to be the fielder no more. And he come up there and he put stuff on, and it's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. Because Vince wasn't there to...
Right. Vince is a genius,
Vince
bro.
is a genius.
He does not get it. Dude, that dude is a fucking genius.
Well, one of the things that helped save the company was him becoming Mr. McMahon and being the heel.
So good, man. The best heel, in my opinion, ever.
Well, see,
is Vince McMahon.
Well, but people don't understand. Wrestling was nowhere. I mean, it was on cable TV. It was little small markets. He went out there and say it like it is. He took over. He put these companies put themselves out of business because they didn't want to work together. If them promoters wouldn't have been greedy and got together and worked together, they could have been Vince McMahon.
Hell,
but they couldn't do that.
WCW paid for the first WrestleMania.
Yeah, Vince went out and bought the big time slot was on TBS, cable TV 6:05 on Saturday nights. NWA had it. The contract came up. Vince McMahon went to Ted Turner and paid a bunch of money, like $1 million, and got that contract. Fans were pissed off. And he put the show on, and fans hated it. And so Turner said, well, WCW wants back in. He said, well, I'll sell the contract back, but it's going to be for so much money. It was like double what he paid for it, triple what he paid for it. So with the money he got from that, he took that money and put on WrestleMania. And
see what I mean, dude?
If WrestleMania would have failed, he'd been done.
Well, Bobby Heenan and a lot of them guys said, this ain't going to work. He's got Liberace here. He's got Muhammad Ali. He's got Billy Martin, the manager of the Yankees. People don't care about this. This is a circus. This ain't going to work. And then when they start putting it all together, and then they seen all these fans here, and it was on closed circuit TV, because it wasn't pay-per-view back then. You went somewhere and watched it on closed. All them places was filled up. It made all kinds of money, and it was a hit or miss. It was either he was going to make it, or he was going to lose it that night.
It was over.
Yeah, it was going to be over. So he hit.
Damn. That's
See,
crazy.
And now look what WrestleMania is. They're going to try to sell 100,000 tickets two nights.
Yep, two nights.
They
100,000
probably
each
do
night.
it. They'll
Probably
probably
come
do
close. That'd be the first time they've ever tried to do 2 nights. But a lot of the tickets are selling. A lot of people are buying for both nights. They have packages with them by both nights. But still, that's a lot of. But the Vince is the evil billionaire genius. But what most people don't realize, that's not how he grew up. He grew up in a trailer. His family didn't have tons and tons and tons. His dad ended up doing pretty well because his dad had the promotion originally. Right. And it was just a local big promotion in New York, and it was big in New York, Connecticut, in that area.
People always talk about how big of a dick he is and stuff, but if you look at it, like most of the wrestlers talk about how good of a guy he is, he'll call and check on you.
Hey, people that get released or fired are always going to talk bad about their bosses.
Hell yeah.
People, and some of them probably deserve to be fired, or maybe some of them didn't. Hey, things happen. Like I said on the last show, I worked a job for 25 years. One day got called in the office, said, Tony, sorry, we got to let you go.
Well, I think it's...
And I'm like, what do you mean you got to let me go? Yeah, and so, but that's what they had to do. And I wasn't the first, but... 10 of us went that day. 2 weeks later, 20 more got it. Two weeks later, 40 more got it. And they were closed. And then they'll end up opening back up as a different company. And I think they got 60 people working there now. It's never been the same. But people get fired every day or let go or whatever you want to call it. Laid off, let go, fired. Happens every day. Some deserve it, some don't. That's just the world we live in. And Vince is like I said, he's got it's just not himself to answer to anymore. He's got bunch of stockholders he has to answer to, and they expect so much profit. Now, some people say, well, what's the difference? If you make $400 million, he could keep all them people on and make $300 million. That's not how it works. Them stockholders and investors, if they say, well, you left $100 million on the table, bullshit. We want that $100 million.
Yeah, it's a totally different world when you're a public traded company.
I can't believe Vince went public like that.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
Well, like we've talked before, that TV deal. Well, he started that. The network.
Everybody said he was stupid.
And then people said, well, it didn't get as successful, and maybe it didn't. Maybe it only got up to about 1.5 million people watching it. And it wasn't successful. Well, it was successful enough to rent it out, basically, sell it to Peacock.
Yeah, license
it to Peacock for 5 years. He still owns it. He just licensed it for $1 billion.
Holy shit! It's good for Peacock because I want to get that shit.
I guarantee
just for this.
I guarantee you, Peacock's subscription probably quadrupled.
Peacock said they track stuff.
I guarantee it.
Peacock said,
I guarantee it. Probably more than that.
Peacock says over 3 million people a week are watching WWE Network.
Oh yeah, I guarantee
they're tracking it, and it's the best. Peacock's like 10, 11, $12, whatever it is. And I'm talking about the other shows on there because there's some shows on Peacock I watch, but just the wrestling, all the pay-per-views. It's the best. It ain't no more paying $50
if you watch one or two pay-per-views, you've paid for it.
AEW does 4 pay-per-views a year, $59 a shot. So you're paying $60, $120, $240 a year for 4 pay-per-views when you're paying you would be paying like $140 for 12 or 13 pay-per-views. And then all the other stuff you get on Peacock. And plus all the WWE shows. Like, we're watching the live feed of the WWE, but right now if you got the Peacock, get right on there. Okay, I'm gonna watch ECW's first pay-per-view. Okay, now I'm gonna watch WCW's. I'm gonna watch WrestleMania 1. I'm gonna watch.
No, that's what's so nice about it.
I'm gonna watch Monday Night Raw from December 1st, 1997.
You can literally go back in time and like watch it. Like that's what I can't wait. Like I gotta get it, man. So I can just go back and watch it. It's like it's first time airing for me.
WWE going to Peacock like that is almost like Howard Stern when he went to Sirius. Yeah. He saved Sirius. Sirius wasn't.
Sirius was here, and XM was here,
and now Sirius bought XM.
Yeah, they went like this, and Sirius bought XM. Yeah, and it was because of Howard Stern. People get mad, whatever, hate Howard Stern all they want. It's a fact.
Hey, sometimes you gotta take that risk, man. Sometimes you gotta sign that big guy, and hope he can.
Howard Stern, he built his own brand.
I don't know if you ever seen the Howard Stern movie where he starts out. He was terrible, and he got better, and then he went to NBC, and NBC tried to tame him, and he ended up hating NBC, but he went to #1. He was getting ratings that people never heard of.
Yeah.
And
on radio, yeah.
Yeah, this was just never heard of. He got a 10 share. Nobody's ever got a 10 share. Next closest one to him's 4, and he did it like a year's time. And then they wanted to be buddies to him. He said, "Shove it up your ass. I'm going somewhere else."
And he'd basically do like the opposite of what if they told him he couldn't do it, he would do it.
Oh, yeah.
And he would.
He was letting them know, like, y'all better not play with me. I'm the one bringing in all the people.
Yeah.
Hey, when someone's got that much power, man, you gotta let them do the thing. Shit.
Yeah, you look. What's the next pay-per-view? Royal Rumble.
Yeah, next pay-per-view WWE's Royal Rumble. It's the 29th. Saturday the 29th.
Well,
we got a show, big show,
yeah,
show in Bloomington.
We'll be in Bloomington that night.
I think if you guys are up for it, we'll see how it goes. We're gonna be tired probably, but I was thinking we could come maybe on Sunday, come over here and watch it and do a lot, watch it and do a watch along.
Yeah.
Or we could do it on Monday. Give you a day of rest because I know because we're
going to Terre
Haute on Friday and then Bloomington on Saturday. That Bloomington show, Stevie, they've added. He's got like 4 or 5 Impact Wrestling stars going to be on that show. Not just 2. He's got 4 or 5, and then he's got the one guy we seen with the wings.
Oh yeah.
He's going to be there wrestling Blake Money Right. He's got Madman Fulton. He got Jake Christ and Storm, which you've seen them before.
He has Cowboy James Storm.
Cowboy James Storm. He's got the other guy, Chase Stevens. He's got a huge show.
Hey. Shout out to him for that dude be putting on some shows, man.
We'll be there January 29th.
Yeah, tune in, man.
January 23rd, we'll be at Warrior Pro Wrestling. I'm looking forward to that. Checking them out. Danville, Indiana. And then February is a busy month. Just kick it off because we got possibly one the 5th. We got one on the 6th, one on February 12th.
And one on the 19th.
Yeah.
We got DCCW finally on the 19th.
Man, what's up with DCCW, man? I was ready for the DCCW show.
I was excited, yeah.
Royal Rumble is one of my favorite pay-per-views.
See, they're doing this in a not arena. They're doing it in a small dome they have in St. Louis. I think it would normally hold 40, 50,000 people, whatever, but I think they're selling 40,000 seats for it, something like that. I think it's about a sellout, and it's going to be a big show. It's going to be a real good. You got.
I watched the AEW the other night, and it didn't look like there was that many fans there.
Well, see, that's people. There was they put out 4,000 seats, and I think they sold about 3,000.
You can see like empty spots like the arena.
They sold 3,000.
You can see parts of the arena that they went to.
Yeah, well, they're doing smaller arenas, and because see, one side they normally on the camera side they usually don't sell tickets, unless it's just such a high demand just for the camera. What they call the hard camera.
That way, when the camera looks out, it looks like it's full.
Yeah,
on that side.
But now, if it's
They can't sell enough tickets though to fill it up.
you can, but most setups for those shows. See, AEW, that's what people don't understand. AEW are doing a lot smaller arenas. Biggest arenas they're doing for the most part is 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 seat places. Unless it's somewhere like Chicago. They're really big in Chicago. They can go into 19,000.
Why? Because they got what's his name? Punk.
Maybe that's maybe part of it, but I think he was popular there before Punk. They're real popular in Chicago, and there's two or three other places. They do real well in New York. They was outselling WWE in New York, and I think a lot of that is just Vince McMahon hate. Yeah. See, there's that's another thing that people like. Back to Howard Stern, but in the movie they talk about that Howard Stern. Who listens to Howard Stern? And he said, well, the person that listens, the average listener listens for an hour a day. And he said, yeah, but most people only listen 10 minutes. They said, no, they listen about an hour and 10 minutes a day, the average. Okay, but what people that don't like Stern? Okay, the most common answer you give there, they listen for 2.5 hours a day. Why? He said, because they want to see what he says next. Yeah. And all these haters out there who claim they don't watch WWE watch every fucking week.
For sure.
Because I get on these things and they're sitting there. That was trash. That's why I ain't watched it in 5 years. How you know it's trash if you didn't watch it?
Yeah,
dude. I don't know. I love WWE. I love Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is like one of the coolest, most interesting dudes to me. So I'm always gonna be the WWE fan. NXT.
Well, I like AEW, but the fact is, if it wasn't for Jericho, they wouldn't be where they're at right now.
Well, let's stop thinking about it. If it wasn't for WWE, where would Moxley be right now? Moxley wouldn't be making. He could be making in WWE, making $4 or $5 million a year, or whatever he's making. But he wouldn't be making AEW now if he wasn't in WWE. Chris Jericho wasn't making the money he's making in AEW without WWE. CM Punk wouldn't be making the money he's making right now if it wasn't for WWE. That's a fact. They can say whatever they want.
Yeah, Chris Jericho, he left WWE and I mean, really good graces. Really, I mean,
he could go back tomorrow.
Yeah,
he could go back tomorrow.
Because when he first talked to AEW, he wouldn't talk to Vince before he went to AEW.
Because he's smart.
Well, his
Jericho's
thing,
smart.
In Jericho's mind, he felt like he still could be main event, and Vince didn't see that. Vince is on older wrestlers. It's tough for Vince because Vince believes that when you get older, you fade out. Jericho don't believe that way, and so I mean, they talked, and he said, "Well, I'm gonna go to AEW," so that's what he did.
I think that's the right way of thinking, though. I think you have, I know it's hard for people to move on, from their past, and people are gonna love Jericho, but I think you gotta build your new stars. You gotta build your young talent.
But old talent helps build the young talent.
Right. So definitely, you gotta keep them guys around.
If you don't beat nobody in perception, then how you gonna get big?
In wrestling, beating the old timer, the guy that's a legend, that's huge in wrestling.
Well, that's what Billy Ray says, when a promo. If you do a promo, if I'm going to be on an independent show, you're an independent element, and I'm going to wrestle you. If I go out there and just say, he's terrible, he sucks, and I beat you, who did I beat?
Right.
You don't want to hammer the dude. You got to do it in the right way, where you're elevating. Ric Flair was one of the greatest of all time. If you watched most of his pay-per-views and especially at house shows, most of the time he lost. He'd lose by disqualification. But if you go look at his win-loss, he probably lost more than he won, even though he was champion 16, 17 times.
Yep.
But people pay big money to see the Four Horsemen lose.
Yes.
They paid to see them lose.
People love to see the underdog win,
See, what they would do, a thing. They'd get Dusty Rhodes, and they had a thing with Dusty Rhodes, and they put him, he was outside, and they caught him by his car, and they put his arm in the car door and beat it with the car door and all this stuff. And they beat on him for a long time, and then they build it up to a big match. And North Carolina sells 16,000 seats, and, he'd get his revenge,
That's another guy, not Dusty, but Dustin Rhodes. He don't get the respect he deserves for how good he is. I watched him last night in '91 wrestling with his dad on that Royal Rumble, and now he's still in real great.
2 weeks ago,
shape.
he had a hell of a performance on Friday night on Rampage against that Sammy Guevara. But again, they do stuff that hurts the program. I mean, he does a Canadian destroyer outside on a table, puts Sammy Guevara through it. A Canadian destroyer by itself in the ring, match should be over. It's a finishing move. It should be over. He does it on the table. They get back in the ring, and GW.R pins him. That stuff don't make sense.
Shit don't make that don't make no sense.
And that's what some people they say. The hardcore wrestler fan. To me, that's not what's watching AEW. It's the people that hate WWE is watching AEW. Because if you're a hardcore wrestling fan, that's not good psychology. It's not. And I mean,
well, that's one thing I don't like about AEW. They don't sell.
They don't sell.
And I just,
go watch Randy Orton sell. Watch his facial expressions and the way he sells. He got beat the other.
He's
Otis.
so good.
Otis.
He's so good.
that was one of the best. That was one of the things that Ric Flair was the best at.
Yeah. Otis, that big dude, Otis slammed. Did the basically it's the Mark Henry slam, and put it on Randy Orton, and Randy Orton got pinned. They show him out of the ring 3 minutes later. He's still selling it. You sell it.
Sell it, dude.
That's what Bully Ray says. Sell, and then after you're done selling, sell some more.
Sell some
That's
more, dude. I
said,
know.
He said that's you got to work the crowd.
Oh yeah, when Ric Flair would get hit and he'd take a step, stumble around, and fall face first and shit. People
love
But I
it.
do- I
When
wanna
you get
ask you-
stunned
Well, like,
and you go
when he-
flying in the air.
when he
and you
get
can't-
thrown, when he get thrown into the turnbuckle, he'd flip over, run across the apron.
But one thing I want to ask you guys about, I've been listening to it on Busted Open Radio with Billy Ray and them. I've not seen it, but Billy Ray said he has seen it on TV. He's seen it happen, and then they've had some fans call in and say they've seen it happen, and some said they haven't. They claim at their WWE shows, if you see something you really like and you stand up, that they come and tell you to sit down.
Yeah, I've heard that, but I've never.
And I don't understand that. Don't you want your fans to be excited and go crazy?
They do that at what show?
WWE. They claim Bully Ray said he's seen him. He said he was watching SmackDown last Friday night, and they went to the announce table, and McAfee and Cole was talking, and this dude was behind him, and he gets up and he's going crazy, because he's on camera. Said, you see a security guard coming to the thing? Told him, sit down.
I've never noticed, but I've heard of that before.
Now that's one thing that adds to AEW shows on TV. The crowd is going berserk. They go for berserk everything. If I hit you with a punch, they're reacting. I mean, the whole show most of the time. I mean, they are great.
And they only sell like 4,000 to 5,000.
Well,
Do you think they put people in like that? That's just weird to me. Like 4 or 5. Like,
well, they're doing smaller.
do you think they put people in there to go crazy?
No, I don't think so. But see, what the thing of it is that you got to remember they're only about 2.5 years old. So I mean, there's a lot of people who don't even know what AEW is. The casual fan. I mean, they don't know who Sammy Guevara. You probably never heard of Sammy Guevara. He's one of the bigger, younger stars in AEW. What's the real big dude with the skateboard?
Darby Allin.
Darby Allin. He's one of the top people in AEW.
I'll be honest with you, and people are going to think this is a hot take, but Bret Havoc here in Indiana is better than Sammy Guevara.
Hey,
I mean, in my opinion,
some of these guys we've seen right now
for sure.
on the independent shows are
just
they
as good,
could be
just
on
as good
AEW.
if not better.
They could be
I'm telling
on
you,
there.
Bret Havoc. I would put money on it. He could go over there and do just as good or better than what
But
he's doing.
here's the perfect thing with how WWE trains. For example, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's Olympic champion. You know how hard he had to train. He went to WWE. First week, he went to the head of the thing there.
Yeah, he was gonna
He said,
quit.
I can't do this. He said, I don't think I can take it.
Yeah,
that tells you how hard they work.
Yeah,
But-
they work.
But it's and see, that's something he didn't understand. Well, when you go out on the road and you're wrestling 7 days a week and 2 shows on Sunday, and you're hitting that mat, and you're hitting that mat, and you're hitting them ropes, and you're hitting them turnbuckles, and you're taking punches, and you're taking clotheslines, and you're going through tables, your body gets the hell beat out of
Well,
it.
that's what.
Oh yeah.
That's the problem with people saying it's fake. That's not fake.
Well,
No.
that's what some of the independent guys have said. Like some of them that wrestled last year at the Comic-Con in Indianapolis, they done like 7 or 8 matches in 3 days, and them wrestlers were talking about how the last day their body was so beat up and sore from like chops and stuff. you're trying to, your body's trying to heal.
Yeah.
So hell, you get shit. That makes it hurt worse.
Now, most of these guys are just working on the weekends.
Yeah.
Think about when you're working WWE
Yeah.
and you're working
5-6 days
back
a week.
in the old days it was 7 days a week. Now they've lowered it. They're only working 4 or 5 days a week. But still.
That is crazy. It's always crazy to me when I'll be watching like a WrestleMania or something and they'd be like, well, tomorrow on Monday Night Raw, I'm like, you're going to do this fucking big-ass fucking pay-per-view and then you got to turn around the next day and do Monday Night Raw?
What about the Elimination Chamber?
That's crazy.
Wrestling Elimination Chamber. Next day you got to come back after being in the Elimination Chamber?
That's nuts.
And wrestle on Monday night?
I can't believe that they have them doing that. That's crazy.
Have you seen on WWE Network, we was talking about earlier, me and Chris was, that they had a match. It was called the Pajami Prison Match. It was all supposed to be all bamboo. A great big huge cage.
I think I seen that.
Do you know that wasn't bamboo?
It was steel.
It was steel.
Yeah.
And painted like that. And I never knew that until I watched that special. And I'm like, Jesus.
I seen that special, I think.
And the very first I'm not saying it right.
Elimination.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber. They about killed each other.
Yeah.
They about killed each other.
Oh, didn't Rob Van Dam like jump off the fucking top and land wrong or something?
Well, he jumped, and the thing, they had it at an angle, so he couldn't stand up, so he's like this, and he jumped off, and he said he mistimed it, and his leg went on Triple H's throat.
Triple H was hurt,
and he said he'd get okay for a little bit, and then he'd take another hit, and then it would swell up again.
That would suck. Not being able to breathe
Well,
and
look at
shit.
them. Dude, there's them guys that finish matches with fucking torn triceps and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, Triple H finished the match, tore his thing off the bone, and wrestled another 10 minutes that way. Probably because of adrenaline.
Yeah. Probably wasn't getting the full effect.
Dude, I guarantee you, back to Independent for a minute, Sean Kemp, I guarantee that dude woke up that Monday morning hurting.
He went over that top rope on that cement, yeah.
Dude, he had nothing. He had nothing to slow him down. I mean, it was, whoa.
Hey man, we see some crazy stuff at these independent shows.
And
These dudes are risking
dude,
it.
I thought he was hurt.
And the fans like it. But I also understand if I'm WWE and I'm paying you $700,000 a year to perform for me, 300 dates, I don't want you doing stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Guys jump over the top rope and they jump through the ropes, but they're not going to have you go through 10 tables, and they're not going. I mean, I understand you're an investment. I don't want to hurt my investment.
Or doing some of them flips some guys do off the top ropes outside.
You seen the Mexican tag team in a mask in that cage match, AEW here. When you guys watch the AEW pay for the Lucha Brothers against what's her name? I'm old people. I forget the names. I know who they are. I'm
trying to think who the rest of
the brothers.
Oh, Young Guns. Or not Young Guns.
Not Young Guns.
I know who you're talking about.
You know
I
what I'm
can't
talking
think
about.
of
But
the
anyway,
name.
you seen that match, and they was in the cage, and they went all over the place.
Young Bucks.
Young Bucks. That guy they wrestled a match the other night, and he went through a table, and his arm got behind him when he went through the table, and I don't know if he broke his arm or dislocated it, but he's going to be out for quite a while. I mean, it looked terrible. And it just
that ain't fake.
they push it, and people get hurt more. WWE don't want their people hurt. And don't get me wrong, that's not to say WWE ain't physical, because you watch, as far as physicality, WWE's a lot more physical, as far as beating on people than AEW. AEW's doing a lot more high risk stuff, and the fans like that, too. But still, the only way WWE is going to get more fans to watch is storytelling. They need to do more storytelling. AEW, the only way they're going to get is storytelling. That's how you get people to buy in. It's story. You ain't going to do it just by moves. Moves is not going to do it. No. It's only going to take you so far, and then that's...
You got to build the characters, man. It's like a movie. You got to get... It's like a TV show. You got to make these people come back every week to watch the new episode.
You should see Brock Lesnar's character right now. It's unbelievable. I mean, he comes out basically...
I've kind of seen it.
He's come out as a lumberjack, looking like a lumberjack.
Oh, I love it.
A happy lumberjack. He's out here, this dude never took... He's out there taking fans with taking pictures with fans all over Facebook. He never done that before. Just big old smile and everything. I mean, just completely different character. And that's what you have to do. You got to reinvent yourself. That's what Chris Jericho was great at doing.
That's
Jericho was great
smart.
at it. Undertaker was good was great at it.
Making tweaks, small
Yep.
tweaks.
Like going to the American Badass.
Well, he
and
did. He did. He came in 90, 91, and went pretty good to about 97, and then he knew it was getting a little stale. So let's make a little tweak and make a little tweak and a little tweak.
See, that's where I think WWE fucked up with Bray Wyatt. Because I think Bray Wyatt could have been a character, something like The Undertaker, like that.
I agree.
You could have made a few tweaks to and could have had a long run and have that mystique.
They say there's a lot of behind the scenes stories there that
Is he hard to work with?
that's been some of the rumors been coming out lately that he got to be hard to work with. I think he went through a lot of depression when his best friend Luke Harper passed away, and I think they give him time off, and I think there become issues over that. I mean, they want you to work. I mean, they're paying you to work, which they still. I mean, the way WWE does it, if you're off work, they put a freeze on your contract. So if you sign a 3-year contract and you don't wrestle for 6 months, that 6 months is added on the back end. You may have been there for 3 years, but if you've not wrestled for a year of that, you're gonna wrestle. You're gonna get that year. So that's the way the way it's set up.
The Young Bucks are a pretty big tag team in AEW, ain't they?
They're huge in AEW. They're very talented in what they do, but I mean,
They're just not my cup of tea.
they're my cup of tea. I mean, that was a real good match. I really enjoyed it with the Lucha Brothers, but that's something you can't do every time. You gotta do stories, and right now they're doing a little bit more. They've had some injuries, and they've been one of them just got over COVID. One of them did, and so they've been more on mic and stuff, not as much in the ring, and I think their characters have got better.
Yeah.
But you got to have
To
characters.
me, if you watch one of their matches, you've seen almost all of it.
They're pretty basic. I don't want to. I'm probably making people mad saying it.
I mean, hey, people think they're the best tag. Some people think they're the best tag team in the world. I don't think they are, but there's
My thing is, because I grew up in a lot different era, with the teams like Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, the Midnight Express. I can't put them guys up with guys like that. The Rock and Roll Express. There's a lot of great tag teams. The British Bulldogs. I mean, when I can't put
Road Warriors.
Personally, Road Warriors. I can't put the Young Bucks up with them. A lot of people think I can.
No, you're going to have to wait till the end of their career to put them up there.
Well, that's just like everybody always been big on that Kenny Omega as best in the world. I don't,
To me, right now, the best in the world is Daniel Bryan. Right now.
He's AEW.
He just went to AEW here about 6
I think we
months
watched
ago.
that pay-per-view when he
I would
came
say
out and shit.
I would say Daniel Bryan or Randy Orton. Randy Orton's right.
I like Randy Orton, man. His song will be stuck in my head.
Yeah,
Maybe
Randy,
that's
yeah,
why.
he's right. But I tell you, somebody I think could be a megastar in the makings, that Riddle, that's tagging with Randy Orton right now. I think he's got the character. I think him being with Randy Orton was the right move because Randy's bringing him along, because Riddle had a little bit of an attitude problem. He was running his mouth, about Goldberg, ran his mouth about Lesnar, and Randy Orton had a lot of those problems when he was young.
Yeah.
And he said he should have been fired 4 or 5 times over, and some of the shit he did. So I think that's why they put him with Orton to help bring him along. So look, man, don't be like me. Don't be your own worst enemy. He said, my dad was a Hall of Fame wrestler. I had a lot of people in my corner. You don't have them people in your corner. You'll be out the door and be done.
Well, that's what happened to McIntyre, wasn't it?
No, Drew McIntyre, when he first came in, was the Vince. That's hard. They said Vince McMahon said he was the chosen one. To have that kind of pressure put on you, and then he didn't live up to it, got fired. He left, and he went back out on the road and wrestled all over the world, went to Impact Wrestling, and got a name. And then WWE seen it, and they called him, and that's what he was doing it to get back to the WWE.
Guy I think is going to be the next big star is that Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah, Steiner's son, yeah, I think he's going to be huge. He's got it all. And the dude's been wrestling for about 7 months. He was a football player. He was actually I think he was on Baltimore's roster at one point. I think he might have been a fullback. And, but I mean, I'm sure he'd been around it all of his life, and he worked with his dad and his dad's brother, his uncle, his uncle, Scott Steiner. and he worked with them guys because his timing. That's not no guy's been working for 6 months or 7 months timing. His timing is unbelievable, and he's got a good. His dad was never super on the mic. He had a good personality, which I think he's got his dad's personality. But then he's got his uncle who was real good on the mic. He's got the mic skills too. He's like them two put together. So I think he's going to be.
I love how when he's walking around, he'll be barking and stuff.
Well, see, because they didn't give him his dad's name. You know, they was going to give him Steiner name, and I think they did it on purpose because sometimes you come in and you have like Randy Orton had a ton of pressure because his dad's a Hall of Famer, and then his dad's dad was a wrestler. So I mean, a lot of pressure to live up to, and I think they probably think, hey, and they said Breaker came up with the name. They was going to go with Rex Steiner, and Braun Breaker said, well, his real name's Bronson. Real name I think is Reckensteiner is the real name. That's the real name, is Reckensteiner. And he said, I'd rather be Braun Breaker because I'm gonna break people. And he said, and Braun is really kind of his real name, Bronson. So that's really part of his real name. But they're still doing all the references on TV because his dad was called the Dog-Faced Gremlin, and they say, yeah, he's out here getting all the dog-faced gremlins fired up, and so they're doing all these, and he's using his uncle.
He done the Steiner Recliner.
He had this move called Steiner Recliner his uncle did, and he's using it as his finishing move. So I mean, they're doing all the reference. Yeah, so when he goes to the main roster, he could all of a sudden say, "My real name's Rex Steiner." I mean, so it's not like they can't.
Yeah, when you got that, I mean, that's his dad and shit, so you can't take that away from him.
And another thing, on social media after he won the belt, his dad they didn't show it on TV, and that's smart too, because you put it on your social media, more people's going to see it on social media. It's going to see it on TV.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Because once people find out it's on social media, millions of people go there and see that. So they put that on social media. His dad getting in the ring and celebrating with him. That's little things. It's smart.
Smart.
He's good. He's impressed me. Him and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Him and Ciampa go at it.
But like I said, NXT's got a lot of young guys. I think they've got 5 or 6 guys right now, and I think in a year or two are going to be major stars in WWE.
What's the? I know this is probably a dumb question. But is there a difference between NXT 2.0 and NXT? Is that two different things?
Here's what happened.
Yes.
They decided to
two different things.
Yeah, they decided to. Triple H went to them and said, "I want to start a training facility and a TV show and build wrestlers." We went out and got all these wrestlers from independent shows, from Ring of Honor and places like that. They got all these wrestlers. Well, they become so good and so popular that it really became a third brand because it was nothing like WWE. I mean, it got where he wasn't really getting them guys ready to go up to the main roster. He was doing his show, doing his brand, because it became a brand.
Yeah.
And then
it was less production. It was more just old school hard hit.
But originally, what was supposed to be, it was supposed to be basically
like
a
the minor league
for WWE, and that's not what it turned into. Well, then
it turned into a third brand.
Then AEW comes along, and they're going to be on Wednesday nights. Well, Vince didn't want them. He don't want competition because WCW was competition by putting them out of business. So we're going to put a stop to this. Well, Triple H said, let NXT. They was already on Wednesday nights, but they was just on the network. And they went to USA and said, we're going to deal with USA, getting paid $40, $50 million a year to be on USA Network. So they went up against AEW. And AEW beat them in the ratings every week. I mean, AEW was getting 800,000, they were getting 700,000. But it beat them for a year. I think NXT beat them 6 or 7 times out of the year. And Vince, that's one thing they say about Vince. He can't stand to lose.
You could tell.
So he considered that a loss. He got mad and he just retooled NXT. And he still is retooling. They just fired a bunch more people. They've fired Regal.
Damn.
They let.
I seen that they fired Regal. I did see that.
They let Regal go. They let the dude that was in DX. Chris, what's his name? Dude was in DX. They just let go.
Road Dogg.
Road Dogg. They let Road Dogg go too. He was in DX. About the only things left is Shawn Michaels and Triple H, but Triple H out with a heart attack. So I mean, he completely redone it. And just like Bully Ray said, if NXT would have beat AEW, they may end up. Well, see, Triple H come up with the idea about 9 months ago that he wanted to start a 4th show for the younger people. I think he's seen what was coming, and so he said, "I'm gonna try to get, for the younger people, gonna keep my main brand because he loved that brand.
Yeah.
And it was, to me, it was the best brand out there. NXT was my favorite show of all the shows. NXT 2.0, which I think they should just call NXT. I don't like the 2.0. It is a minor league. But I still think it's a good show. I don't like it as good as I did the Black and Gold, but I also see what they're doing, and I like what they're doing. They're building up some of these young guys to where they were getting some older people, and like they get a guy from Ring of Honor who's wrestled for 10, 11, 12 years and bring him up, and by the time they get up to WWE, they're going to be 34 years old right now. See, they're getting a bunch of college people.
Yeah.
They're getting football players, wrestlers, basketball players, track and field. They're getting them to come in, rugby players, stuff like getting them to come in young, and then they have no training. You train them the way you want to train them.
That's kind of it's smart. It's really smart.
Well,
But it's like these dudes out here doing this independent scene. It's like I feel like they're getting almost ripped off. Which I mean, I don't know. But they probably want someone fresh so they can train them certain habits.
Okay, that's true. But that's the other thing that with some of the independent people you have problems with. When you come in and want to change how they do things, when they've done it for 10 years, you get pushback.
Yeah.
And WWE ain't gonna put up with pushback.
No.
You're gonna do it our way or the highway. And that's some of the problems that AEW's having, because they got some vets. They got Arn Anderson over there. They got some people that know the sport. Dustin Rhodes knows the right way things should be. There's
Jim Ross.
Jim Ross. They know I've seen Jim Ross get upset on the air with some of the stuff that was going on.
Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, they know,
Has been around forever.
So they know what it's supposed to be, and they go out there and they just do whatever they want to do. And these and he says, I believe, he said at least I would think that these guys would tell him, Christian's perfect at it. They say Christian's as good as anybody putting a match together and doing it the right way with the right psychology. Billy Ray said there's not too many wrestlers that I would let me, if I wrestled with, I was calling the match in the ring. If I was wrestling with Christian was calling the match because he was better than me, because he knew better than me. So that's how good Christian is. And he said, but he thinks Tony Khan don't want to be that way. He thinks that let these guys do what they want to do. It could end up being their downfall. We'll see.
That is one thing that impresses me about the independent guys is how they can just show up and talk to a dude maybe 5-10 minutes and then have a match.
I know.
That's
crazy.
Especially like you never wrestled. You know what I mean?
And some of them
you never stepped in a ring with that guy before.
Well, say you ain't wrestled him for a year or for 2 years. You don't know if that dude's got any physical problems, if he can do the same things you can do. I mean, he's going to tell you, but that changes everything. Because you may be going to, well, I've wrestled this guy twice before.
How do you get your timing? You know what I mean? It has to be.
And that's what I say, when we go to these independents and we see a missed move or something, I don't think nothing about it because, hey, these dudes...
It's going to happen sometime.
It's going to have to happen because you're not working with each other every day.
But then when you watch a guy like Bret Havoc, you're like...
Bret Havoc...
He don't make many...
Bret Havoc could have a great match with a broomstick. I believe that's how good...
He's good, dude.
Man, he's really impressive.
He's become one of my favorites. I mean, he really has. He's performing in the ring, and plus he's got a character.
Yeah, I think he's got the look, man.
Him,
he's got like that.
Blake Money Wright, I like him a lot. An independent scene here in Indiana.
I think Havoc could play the heel. Like, he's got the look where he could play a hell of a heel, or he could be.
Well, I haven't seen Blake Money Wright's been a face before. I haven't got to see him be a face.
He's a great heel.
He's a great heel, and I heard he's a pretty good face. So.
Hey, he gets my vote as great heel just because of what he did to Eli. He's that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Real quick, go by the independent shows that we've seen. We've seen Stevie's probably seen 4 or 5 now.
Yeah. And
we've probably seen 7 or 8. Can you come up with the top 3 people you like the best? And it don't have to be, I mean, just you personally. I mean, I'm not saying there's a wrong I'm not saying there's a wrong answer. Because there's not.
I know who my 3 are.
I'll say my number 1's Havoc. He's my favorite right now.
Who's your 3?
My 3, I'm not going to put them in any order. I'm not going to do 1 through 3, but I'm going to say Havoc, Dex, and I'm literally just lost the 3rd one in my fucking head. Big Whiskey.
Oh yeah,
Big Whiskey. Big fucking Whiskey, dude.
See, you're not too far from me. I was going to say Havoc. I was going to say Black Money Wright, and I was going to say Dex.
Yeah.
Or my three that I mean, I'm not saying that they're better than anybody. I'm just saying that's the three that have connected with me. And there's a lot of others. I could go 20 people because there's highlight reel.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah.
Highlight reel
for sure.
I really like watching Dutch Boy Platinum.
Dutch Boy Platinum's
Boy.
working. Yeah.
He would be right up there. Brett Havoc's probably my favorite I've seen so far.
And the thing about when you go Dutch Boy
But
Platinum,
I really like Kripke too.
when you go Dutch Boy Platinum, the dude been wrestling for a year.
Yeah.
For 1 year.
I know. He's got talent, man.
And
He's
then
got talent.
man,
Hey, what's
it's
his-
hard to narrow it
I-
down to three.
I really liked who Havoc wrestled at WTF, but he's not really like a local guy.
Oh,
for
Ace
us.
Austin.
Ace Austin.
Ace Austin was amazing.
He was
But I'm
amazing.
not gonna put him in my top 3 just because he's not like a every.
He works the independents, but he's on a main.
Right.
He's on a probably considered the number 3 company in the world. Impact probably number 3. So I mean, you really it's a level.
Yeah.
It's a level up. So I mean,
I'm not gonna put
that's
him in
that's
my
where
3.
that's where Havoc and them guys want to get to.
Yeah,
so
and,
it's
and
kind of
Havoc
hard.
wrestled him and was, I mean, hanging
I'm
right
not-
there with him. We
You know
couldn't
who
tell a difference.
Man, that's so hard because I love watching JKO.
I know.
I know
JKO's a good fucking character,
I know he's
dude.
older, but he can still go.
He can be a face. He can be a heel.
Yeah.
He's a great fucking heel,
he
dude.
He can talk. He's got good psychology. I mean,
Hey.
just the psychology part when we go down and watch a show because they put one on every week. The stuff that they come up with to make it fresh and make it good. And what I like about a show, you make the first 2 or 3 matches may not be main event level,
And there's another
but
guy
because he's building his young guys up. But the shows are outstanding.
There's another guy in the state of Indiana. I think I don't know how he isn't under contract somewhere, but that's Jake Owen.
Yeah, that dude.
How that dude is not have a contract at one of these companies blows my mind.
Yeah, Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor is supposed
And
to be coming back.
not just his in-ring stuff, but his psychology, everything.
He looks the fucking. He's legit.
I tell you, and I haven't seen many of these wrestling schools. So I'm not like I've seen a bunch, but he impressed the hell out of me when I got to see him do training.
For me, to help coach wrestling, you coached high school wrestling. Both of you guys were high school wrestlers. You seen what he was doing in there.
I felt like I was at practice.
There may be people that do it different ways, and I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I guarantee you that's the right way to do it. One of the right ways to do it. I'm sure there's different.
Well, put this way: we've talked to guys that went down there and trained that haven't went to a school like that, and they said Owen's next level.
Oh yeah, people that's never even trained with him, but know of him in the ring and his personality and everything. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about him, about Owen. I really ain't heard anybody say anything about JKO.
No.
Not one bad thing.
We can't forget though one of my personal favorite wrestlers, the fucking ladies man, Mike King.
I knew you.
We can't forget about it, man.
He's-
Hey, I love Mike King, man. Anytime he comes out, I'm hype. The fucking ladies, man.
In my opinion, though, in the tag teams, I will say that one tag team, Rojas and Hadley, the Uprising, were very good.
Yeah.
But they were the only ones that so far I've seen that was close to the highlight reel. They're the only ones I've seen, and I'm sure there's probably some people that may hear this and say, "Man, well, this tag team, but highlight reel."
I'll tell you what, they haven't tag teamed enough together to be able to say they're at that level. But I think Dalton and Luke, if they kept tagging together, I think they could be up.
Yeah, I think
If not at that level, real close.
I think Dutch Boy or Logan Myers or Dutch Boy. Now Dutch Boy's tagging with JB now.
See,
That could be.
hey,
a
I like
really-
that because J Beeve is man.
The last 2 or 3 months, I don't know if anybody's improved as much as he's improved.
Yeah. And he's got a good character, too. I like JB. From the first time we saw him,
Well,
first
now-
show we did,
well, now
I would
he's-
like JB
But now he's a
lot.
heel.
Is he?
He's a heel now.
I
And
like it.
And honestly, I think I like it better.
Yeah, I think I bet it's good.
Well, Dutch Boy got a big win last week. He pinned JKO.
Dutch Boy did?
In the main event.
Hey, Dutch
I'm not
Boy.
saying
Shout out to Dutch Boy.
I'm not saying he didn't cheat, but
But when you wrestle in JKO, can you blame him?
he got
All
a
right,
big win.
before we get out of here, let's do this real quick. I think we've done 7 shows that we've streamed live.
7 or 8.
what's been your favorite match?
Favorite match.
Can you think of what your favorite match?
Ooh, man. It's going to take me a second to think of that. Favorite match.
Or two?
Man, that's tough, man.
That's
You should
tough.
give us a day to think of that.
I know. I need a day on that
All
one.
right. Hey, okay.
Well,
Think-
one of my
think-
favorite moments is Rikishi stink facing.
That's probably going to be the
That's
big
one of my
moment.
favorite moments.
Let's think about it, and we'll
Let's-
do it next Sunday.
Won't we come up with, for the next show our top 3 matches?
Yeah.
And it don't have to be in any order. If you want to put it in
I
order,
think I pretty much know mine.
I'll go back and watch them all.
Yeah, I know. I
YouTube.
need to think.
Ace Austin, Dylan Bostic, and Havoc
That
triple threat.
That's one of mine too.
But I tell you a match.
But then I like the Brett Havoc and JKO match.
Yeah, but what about one that we forget about? It was the 2 out of 3 falls.
Oh, that was a great match.
Totally
And Young.
Oh yeah.
and Young. That was a
great
with,
match.
with psychology.
That's right up there,
2 out of
too.
3 falls was it the psychology they used and everything. It was the hell. I mean, it wasn't all big moves, but the psychology and how they set everything up. I thought it was fantastic, man. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I tell you a match that I liked for it wasn't necessarily a great necessarily put. Well, it was great how they put it together and did it, pulled it off. Was Sam Knight and G.W.R.
Yep.
Got a huge pop. It was the first match of that show. It was done perfect. I mean, they come out. I mean, Sam Knight comes out as Gangrel, and then of course nobody I don't think knew that the Dex was going to come out and cash in the briefcase and get the match and then win it. The crowd go crazy. I mean, that was a big moment.
And then you have them 2 matches from Summit Pro last weekend. They're
Right up there
man.
too, man. Yeah, they were. Steve, you got to watch them. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah. See.
Yeah, dude. I thought Sean Kemp was dead. I did, man.
Put it this way,
Huh?
I got up. I mean, when I seen him hit, I said, "I got up, son of a bitch."
dead.
I thought he was really hurt. I really did.
Man, I'm telling you,
Because he's counting, and the ref got out and talked to him. He went back in the ring and said something to the other wrestler, and he's counting. And at 6 or 7, he still hadn't moved. I mean, I moved in. I'm sitting. I don't know if he's getting up.
He got up right. He got up right at 9 and
Well,
jumped
he
in.
got
needed all 10
he
seconds.
got up at 9 and really probably about a minute count because the ref was giving him leeway to and he almost didn't make it in before the 10. But we've seen people need to go out and watch these independent shows. There shouldn't be 100 people at a show. There should be 300 people, or if they're doing 300, there should be 500.
That show we watched Sunday deserved to have 400 or 500 people in there watching.
Oh yeah, it was. I'm telling you, the Summit Pro for only their second show ever. I'm telling you, man. It's
And like
top.
BMFX, that was a real good show. That building, they had a pretty good crowd, but that building should be.
The show that WTF put on.
Oh yeah,
It should have had double the people that they had. The facility is beautiful. I mean, top notch.
They had a great card.
Big screen. The way it was put together, production, probably the best production
Yes.
we've seen.
It was the best. I mean, I don't want to say that, but it was a great show, man. It was a well put together show.
Well, you could tell that they have a guy a video guy that
See,
knows.
right now my favorite show, and it was because I'm saying show. I'm not saying it was the best wrestle show. Still would be DCCW, the Halloween or the Harvest Havoc.
Classic. That's a
And
classic.
it's just barely because of some of the big moments they had. It wasn't the best wrestle show. Best wrestle show to me, Summit Pro put on a hell of a show. Them and WTF, it's right there. As far as the wrestling goes in the match, if you compare match for match,
Yeah.
I think that's where they're a little bit over DCCW match for match. Not that WCW had any bad matches, but but the big moment with Rikishi and the Boogeyman and the 400 people there was probably the biggest one we've been to so far. The crowd, it was that, to me, that's my favorite right now. But it's so close. Any of the shows that we've streamed, none of them have been bad.
No.
I mean,
No,
I mean, I would go in there and I paid 10 or 15. I could have paid 20, 25 and not been upset, or 30.
Yeah, any of them that we've went and streamed and worked at have all been good. We've been lucky and haven't went to a bad one.
Nope.
I've went to bad ones before, but not
one we streamed. Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'm ready for the DCCW, our local, our hometown show. I can't wait for that, man. DCCW, we're ready for you, man.
In a new facility.
Yeah,
gonna be at the Armory. I'm excited to see.
You see, we got the DCCW shirt right there.
Yep.
You can't tell it's a DCCW shirt because that's the back, but I like that. I like how it says our town, our playground.
I like that.
Looks nice.
That's all.
Good design.
Ladies man Mike King gave Eric that for us to hang up in here.
But people need to know that we're definitely the voice of independent wrestling in Indiana.
And all the best wrestlers in Indiana, independent wrestlers, you're going to find them right here on this channel. Yep. So make sure you tune in.
Oh, we got some big interviews coming up. We have Buck Sexton will be on Tuesday.
He's the owner and wrestler at
Warrior Pro. He's going to come on and talk about that show on the 23rd. We have that Coda Holiday. She's going to be on.
And not only that, you got possibly in the future, some big things coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Some huge things, huge news and shows that we're probably going to be at. That opportunities are really opening up.
Brett Havoc's going to come on. Dillinger's coming on. We got a lot of things playing.
I'm excited for Brett Havoc. But I have to say, one of my favorite interviews was the one you did with just a week or so ago with. I'm terrible with names, guys. Summit Pro.
Sean
Kemp.
Yeah.
He was hilarious, man.
He was just laid back and talking.
But that's his personality. Yeah. I mean,
that's how he was when we saw him.
That you wasn't getting a character, you was getting him. And then when we was at the promotion and seeing how he was the same thing when he's running, because him and his dad run the show. Same thing. He's got a shirt he don't sell anymore. He's talking about doing it. It's a Scooby-Doo shirt.
Oh fuck!
And it's got the whole gang on there, and they're unmasking a guy, and it's him that they unmask.
Oh shit, that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
Oh, I asked him about because I wanted to get one.
That's pretty cool.
He said he's going to try to get a hold of the design so he can make one. Yeah,
it was awesome.
You can get one for Austin.
Oh, I would have bought one that day for Austin if he'd have had them.
He would love that. Austin's name on Call of Duty is Scooby Doo. Yeah. Just to let you know how much he loves Scooby Doo.
He loves Scooby Doo. Spider Doo. He loves Spider-Man too.
Spider-Man and Scooby Doo.
I'm over here trying to burn down our fucking studio.
Okay, here we go. Do that shit when I'm not here.
All right. Well, no, we're going to get out of here for tonight. We will recap New Era. New Era Wrestling. We'll recap that next week. We'll jump more into some WWE and AEW stuff. You got anything, Steve, before we get out of here? Other than, don't forget our new times, Easy Money, a sports betting show, 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday. GSR Gonzo Sports Rooms Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 7. The G.W.R. weekly podcast drops every Sunday at 9 a.m. That'll drop on Apple Podcast, Anchor Podcast, Spotify, and then the video version will drop on YouTube. Follow us on social media. That's where we put everything about the show goes to our social media accounts. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at Gonzo Sports Room. You guys got anything?
Support independent wrestling.
Yep, support your locals, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man.
There's so many shows in Indiana. I mean, I didn't know there were so many promotions, and there's some new ones even starting up. I mean, you could go an hour this way, an hour that way, hour this way, hour this way, just from your hometown, and find outstanding shows.
There's so many.
And you're gonna think, well, it's not the WWE, it's not AEW. I'm telling you, you go to that show and experience it. You may quit watching the other stuff.
You get one of them small buildings that have 200 people jam-packed in there. And
in the crowd.
And you got two guys in there just going at it. It's a whole different atmosphere.
It's a lot of fun. Take your kids. Kids will love it, and you'll enjoy it too. For $10, $15, whatever they're charging.
I'm sure you'll say it, but some of the best matches I've seen have been at independent shows.
Yeah, yeah.
And I've went to quite a few WWE shows, and I've been to SummerSlam before.
I'm a huge WWE fan. I like the AEW too because it's something different. Some stuff that they do I don't like, but they do enough to keep me going. I liked Ring of Honor. I hope they come back. I watch MLW. I watch Impact. I watch it all.
If you want to watch some hard-hitting wrestling, watch NXT UK.
Yeah, NXT UK is
I seen
outstanding.
that
That
shit.
that there is the closest thing you're going to find to the black and gold
Go
NXT
now.
right now.
Yeah. It's really good. I mean, I love all them shows, but I'm telling you, I've almost found a new love for wrestling, going in a different way for these independent shows. I'm more excited to go to these independent shows than I am to watch the ones on TV. And he knows I don't miss the shows on TV. I'm a huge wrestling fan. I watch all the pay-per-views. I watch everything. I enjoy it. I love it because I've been doing it since I was a little kid. Since 6, 7 years old, been going to shows and stuff, and I just love it. But these independent give me something even.
And I've been watching a lot of independent on YouTube, or you can find a bunch of stuff.
I just get on YouTube and type in a company, a company, and the matches will come up.
Yeah, man.
Have you seen JKO's son wrestle?
No.
Dude,
You need to bring a match up of his, man. I'm telling you,
I ain't never
he's good.
All right, we'll see you guys next Sunday. Thanks for joining us.
See you later.
Peace.